All right, good morning, everybody. Tuesday, February 24th. This is the Webster Special Business District Advisory Commission, February. I'm going to call the meeting to order. So with that, we do have a couple visitors. We actually have specific agenda items for them. So we will table those momentarily. But hope we all have had a chance to read through the minutes from last month.
There's one change that we would like that I see needs to be made is under rooftop lighting. It says maintenance and repairs for all installed lights trains have been completed. It has not been. That's the only change that I saw.
So I'll update that. We'll get a report in just a bit. Just what's going on. Any other comments on the minutes from last month? With that, I will entertain a motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. All approve. Aye. All right. Perfect. All right, moving on. One of our guests here today, Marty Schnarr, is with the Webster Kirkwood Times. Marty, welcome.
Thank you.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. So I just wanted to pass these out. So I'm here to go over the holiday package that you all have supported over the last several years, just to remind you guys what's all included since it's budget season. Maybe we need a reminder. On the left side of that package is all information for your stores. So we can bypass that right now. But on the right-hand side, on page 2, that's the actual package that we have designed for you all. And that breaks down easily what's included in the package for retailers during the holiday season. It includes 4 dates, 3 full pages, a half page, and advertisers get a gift highlight and a gift guide. So they can choose 3 of those 4 dates, and the total is $290 for their participation, which gets retailers into the paper for less than $100 a piece during the holiday season. And then our ask for you guys is $2,500 to support that package. Does that make sense? I know some people in this room have participated in this numerous times. Yeah. It makes a great supplement to people who want to do more during the holiday season. That way they can get in the paper more, less cost. To remind you guys, in case you don't know who we are, we've been around since 1978. We're an audited publication. Get audited every 2 years to verify our numbers and our circulation to make sure we're doing everything we say we're doing. Does anybody have any questions?
So for clarification, so you're asking for us to continue to contribute the $2,500.
Yes.
And then that's basically a sponsorship to allow the local businesses in our district to pay $290 for their advertisement.
For their holiday advertisement, yes.
Excellent. Nice
Easy,
stuff
easy.
today.
Yeah.
Any questions? No. I put some samples in there too, so you guys could just see what all it entails, but
Awesome. Thank you, Marty.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Nice
Good.
seeing you all.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
it.
It's good having a nice hometown paper right down the street.
We think so.
Okay, so make sure you reach out to Marty. Your advertising needs. Moving on to old business, we got rooftop lighting. Scott.
I have no new updates for you. I apologize. I did not do anything this month on rooftop lighting.
Okay,
Get back on it, get them out there to start with a lift to start installing new ones and repairing the ones that did not get repaired.
good. Randy, decorative signs.
As far as I know, that is, it's like you were gonna look into the check or where that all was in the process, I believe.
Hey, it's been sent.
Okay,
So-
okay, very good. All right, so it's in the works, in the process, yes.
So we should see those signs up this spring probably.
I'm hoping, yes.
Yes.
Very good. And any info on the district pedestrian signs?
That is all part of the same order.
Package.
They're not, I'm gonna guess that if we wanted, we could get a hold of them and get that vinyl for just that sign while they're doing the other signs. And I'm sure they can cut that real quick, so I can give them a call and get that for sure.
Very good. Okay, any questions for Randy? Or Frank? Welcome. Now we can start. All right. TJ, you made it just in time for the best part of the meeting.
What is?
So moved.
Doesn't sound good. You're now the president.
Congratulations.
Dave.
We are moving on to everybody's favorite part of the meeting and year, our 2027 budget planning. Scott, in the past month, has any money fallen out of trees we didn't know about?
Not really. It's since the one on here, revenue.
It should be.
Oh, it is.
That's one I gave you?
What's his little?
Anybody else have revenue? This one. That's expense. Oh. There we go. Thank you. Total revenue right now is up to just under 32,000 on an $87,000 budget. So I don't recall where we're at this time last month, but it appears it is probably going up a little bit. That's mostly with real estate taxes so far. Business licenses so far only come in about $5,500 out of the 40,000 budgeted, but most of those haven't come in yet. So
Still early, there's no reason for us to think that budget is. I mean,
I would not think so. No. Everything's trending the way it should.
okay.
Business licenses aren't due until the end of April, so
Right.
so it's paying and I'm not.
Let's do later. All right, very good. So we did talk about the expenses. These are actually just 26 numbers. That one is 7 budget. Just didn't see it. Fran, was there a proposed budget for next year?
On the expense side,
Yeah.
that's budget.
Uh-huh.
It was the first page of the numbers.
Yeah.
So we-
Expense budget worksheet. It's one of one.
So there's actually 3 sets of sheets there. There's an expense budget, then there's the revenue. There's 2 expenses. So they're the same budget. It's just the 2-pager has details for each one of those line items to make it easier. But I can't print the details and give you the actual amount on the same page. Our software is goofy. That's why you end up with 2 different reports. So that you can have the actuals on the 1 of 1 page and the 1 of 3 page is the same budgeted amount. It just gives you breaks it out what those individual line items are for some of those. So you can put in basically the same budget you have this year. If you're happy with the stuff, we can just transfer those numbers over. But if you had, the caveat on that is the 600s, which are the employees' salaries and insurances and workers' comps and those things, those are probably going to see about a 3% increase. That's kind of what we're looking at right now for citywide. And then anything else that you want to do in your 700s or 800 counts, if you want to change up sponsorship dollars, if you want to add another event, if you want to, we talked about more trash cans last time, things of that nature. That's what I'll just need you to know to add those in, subtract any of those line items out that you don't think you want to continue with.
And this is a $30,000 budget loss. Okay.
That's the set.
Correct. which is 15 of that was rooftop lighting, and what is it, 10,000 for the signage that you guys added in this year. That was coming out of your cash balance account, which was in the neighborhood of
So the
50 some odd thousand.
15,000, that's just gonna roll over because we didn't spend all of that.
It can, yes. So we haven't spent it all yet. I think once we rent a lift truck and get out there and put the rest of those lights in, you're gonna be pretty close to spending all of that, because the lift truck's gonna be $1,000 a week to rent the lift truck.
Can't do it with the JLG.
They say they need a lift truck.
Where do we still need the lift truck for to install the lights?
Basically, any of the buildings that don't have lights installed on them now, they say they can't, there's not good rooftop access or a way to get to them to install those lights.
Is there a way that you and I can meet with, show me when they want to do some stuff? Some access points to building rooftops that aren't
Well,
visible
yeah.
to the general public.
Yeah.
For 220, there's an access off the back of the building that can get you to the rooftop, that can get you to the lighting, and you can get it done in the
Sure.
day.
Yeah.
No lift.
Mhm.
That'd be a whole new one. 101, there's access
Yep.
for that corner building from the back.
Okay.
So there's, if you want to set something up to, for me, we can figure that out before we rent the lift.
Is there any sort of like, map with the ones like this is gonna need one, this is gonna need one, this one has access, like that kind of thing that, clarifies which or
We
which?
can
I don't
sit
have
down with,
At one point, I think Ron had done one of those, but that was.
Dave and I walked around and looked at all the buildings, and there's just
Yeah.
just really your building, I think, that's left.
Probably the only one
That doesn't have lights on it already. Like, that's why I was trying to think of what building do they need a lift for, because I can't think of buildings that aren't done besides Dave's building.
Mhm.
And you can definitely access 220 without a lift. I do it.
Yeah.
Not gonna like it, but you can do it.
Yeah.
So US Bank has got lights?
Pardon me?
You said
US, all buildings.
US Bank's got lights?
I don't think the US Bank has lights, but I don't know that
have they
they,
agreed to it yet?
I don't think, know if they wanted them, I think.
I'm sorry,
Long
you
time
just
ago.
said everybody had lights, so I was like,
Well, I'm just trying to think of all the buildings that wanted the lights, when we were planning this.
what? Okay,
Right,
I understand what you're
mhm.
saying.
Right, Maury's building, Chase building, he did not want them either. But he was doing some renovations years ago, whatever it was. So that could have changed now.
I see what you're saying.
The buildings without lights, 20 Allen, 21 Allen. It's Panera,
That'd be a Novus.
51 North 4.
Novus would be the there.
Rolling Ridge doesn't have them. Builtwood Remodeling doesn't have them. Schaefer doesn't. Montessori School doesn't.
I know Rolling Ridge wants them,
Which doesn't.
and I thought Maury wanted it at his
Is it
34 Gore location right there by the train tracks at Moody.
Okay.
Building?
No. Yeah,
Pardon me?
it says no lights there. 34 North 4.
Oh, Moody.
Not that
There's a
Moody,
bunch that don't have lights.
after he fixed the roof or something.
PNC doesn't have lights. Strops doesn't have lights. Michael doesn't. US Bank doesn't. Lemke doesn't. And Park.
Landlord.
Yeah, his jerk.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, so there's a number of buildings. We haven't spent our money.
Yeah, those are the buildings, we can probably get those done without a lift. Set that up. Save us all some.
Are there any areas in the budget that we can reduce for next
Marty, when Marty came in, we talked about doing a $2,500 package, and we're reducing that actually from last year, because last year we asked for 3,300. So it's not a whole lot. It's roughly what, $800, but we're only going for 2,500 this year as opposed to the 330 or 3,300. So that could immediately, be lowered there.
So
That's the last line item, right? In
Yeah,
830?
I don't know if that's
That's how I do it, right?
Well, it's helpful.
Does that tip it?
Well,
Is
so
that the right
there's,
line?
I think that's the holiday advertising support.
At number 830.
That's number 830. It's the second one down.
Three.
The holiday advertising support is,
The pools.
That's-
Is that
that's what we, I think, give to BDC.
Yeah.
And then they go out and get a radio station or something, or they get channel 5 to come in and do some live stuff.
Yeah, that's what that is. That's the pool.
That's the second one, holiday advertising.
Yeah,
Yeah.
each district normally contributes to that.
You're talking about the Webster Kirkwood Times advertising package.
That's the
Right.
last one.
That's 3,300, that's the
2,500. The street dance sponsorship is 4,100, but it was underwritten last year.
So we talked about that.
Right.
We continue that process.
What happens to the money from last year? So that's.
Then it's been, it
Right.
just goes away.
We're just under budget.
Yeah, and then the jazz and blues sponsorship, did we pay that out last year?
Yeah, once.
Because it didn't happen.
Right.
So I just wonder, like, when we look at our general amount of funds, we carry like that 15 over and the.
Can't really carry them
Yes.
over. You can reallocate them for next year.
reallocated
Yeah.
for- Right, so like in our,
Jazz and Blues Festival.
But that,
Do we-
that money should go back into our general
Right, it
fund that
should.
we've been dipping into to take out of signage and stuff.
so those monies should be in our general funds and not in our income,
Mhm.
right? So if you've got 4,100 plus
Right, we can-
5,000,
we can overpay.
that's 9,000. Then we just swing us a deal to save us 800 or so.
Perfect. Thank you, Brandon.
And I'm wondering what Jazz and Blues ended up, even though it got canceled, what they ended up actually having to pay for putting everything up, taking it, all the things that
Yeah.
almost happened.
I-
If they still
There's
use
still a
that
cost
money
to it.
anyway, right?
City pays that stuff. I think that there was contracts and different stuff that they had to pay a portion of. And then I think the sponsors that paid, there's a lot of sponsorship money for this. I think it rolls over. I think some of their sponsors are going to be, they'll have more sponsors
Gotcha, yeah.
this year, as of last year.
In our advertising, we haven't even spent half of our budget.
Wait, say that again?
So our budget, if we look at page 1, bucket 830, advertising,
Yeah.
our budget, total budget, was 25,000.
Over one page.
Page 1 of 1, the expense budget worksheet. So our advertising budget was 25,000. So far, we've spent a little over 10,000.
Which that would have been, 2020 this year, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That would've been
that's the
from-
year ended.
July
ending
1st
July
through
this year.
Okay,
through
okay,
June,
right, right.
June 30th.
So I think you're under because you didn't spend that Jazz Fest money. You didn't spend that street dance money. And so you take those 9,000 out right there.
It's a big chunk of it.
That's a big chunk of it.
We don't really have any springtime advertising.
We
packages, do we?
The street dance is in June and end our fiscal year is end of June, right?
Correct.
So we still have street dance.
Potentially.
Right. That's 4,100. That's another 10 days.
So maybe we're 10 under there. Rooftop lighting. Then we'll get spent here next few months. Probably gonna be under on that one.
I would say for next year, you can probably reduce that rooftop lighting because you're not going to spend 15. I wouldn't think you're going to spend 15 grand again next year if we get it all done this year.
Right, so.
So you could probably look at, I mean, you might hold 1,000 or
Our
something.
typical budget was 5 or less, right?
Yeah,
Is it 5,000 previous years?
Yeah. but I mean, I think that. We could lower to
So let's pull
2,500.
2,500, 5 grand.
I would say 2,500 and we could just buy backup lights. And if they need to be installed, then we can look at that. We've gone 5 years on this project already, like just. Let's get it done.
The bulbs themselves are pretty doggone cheap. I forgot what they were. Something. 1,000 lights for $800 or something like that. I mean, the bulbs themselves are not the cost.
Labor is.
The labor is where all the cost is. So you want to pull that back to
Well,
2,500?
2,500. So that gives us 12,500 back. Which with times gives us 800. Okay. So almost halfway. Halfway. Break even. So where was the street sign expense?
It's actually not in your budget. You approved that as an additional expense this year, over and above what was in the budget when we put it together this time last year. So you guys authorized that. 9,100, something like that. In September, October timeframe.
I feel there's any other category we can. I don't know.
The last year that James Carlton sponsored the whole. With this, I guess we should leave that in the budget, but if that was to happen again.
Freeze up.
Yeah. Jazz Festival was set to have gotten sponsorship.
I know we did our stuff for, from paper. I know we paid our.
Mhm. So some of those numbers could be lower. I do feel that in all the years I've been on here that we've gone over budget maybe for the sign things or something like that. Once or twice we pushed LED streetlights in. Typically we do come under budget. But it's nothing to bank on, of course, but.
Nothing to bank on for sure, but
I mean, I happen to remember how much the total spend or cost of holiday open house was with the trade association. We could do that event.
Oh, yeah,
Do you
it costs
remember
more than what the sponsorship.
How much total was like?
It depends upon what year you looked at. I didn't see the figures for last year, but it has gone up to as high as 20,000 in the past.
And where does all of that, is it trade association's biggest spend?
I would say probably, yeah. But that's the one that they do ask everybody that participates for what they call sponsorship money. And they increased it to help cover the cost. It's more than it used to be in years past.
For like the Santa Claus and the.
Everything, the trolley, Santa Claus, down to the candy canes that Santa Claus gives away. They do have a lot of people that volunteer their time. Like some of the stations, like the cheerleaders don't charge us for that sort of thing. And of course, advertising. Printing, they do the maps.
It's an important day.
It is, it really is.
Scott, about what do we have in reserves?
Just over 50,000.
Okay. Last year we mentioned over budgeted, plan dipping into that, so that didn't happen.
For streets, right, street signs would have been that, but.
But if you come in under budget, then you won't use it. So,
Stays there.
yeah, so if you pay the 9,000 for advertising, that'll wash out the 10,000 for the incentives.
Right. And keep us at a 50,000 reserve if
I hate to budget the deficit. Unless we're gonna explicitly cut some of the additional advertising budgets. I don't mean times. Then sponsorship. Unless we explicitly cut them. We're gonna be in the budget deficit again.
I mean, like the parking store will remain an issue. It's
huge.
a huge expense. I mean, our flowers, commodities budget's 11,000. I don't know. Can
And the commodities is flowers and
flowers
flowers.
and pots and all that stuff.
Everything.
Again,
Yeah.
Or can we get Rolling Ridge to sponsor, Old Webster?
Yeah.
Can we get like some, yeah, is there somebody that wants to do the thing and have like little placards in it that says provided by X company? I don't know if we can, if anybody knows any people in the planting or floral business. They can sell ice stickers on ice for NHL games and people come through Webster. Trying not to break any city rules.
So if I'm putting a name on a park bench, so, yeah.
Do any park bench holders want to, sponsors want to donate money to the beautification process?
Good money.
We have to go out and beg for money for our district. We're not going
Get
to
your
earn any
name
more
on
money,
Right,
right?
for park benches and cheap, so.
It's going to look like Times Square in Old Webster, but it's going to be okay.
And your reserve account as of end of January was $50,126.44. Very good.
We got about a year and a half. Good way.
Yeah, there was mention in the last meeting about the bank pays a percentage to the city and then we get some of that funding. What is that?
No one knows.
Yes, that's a good answer.
How much it is.
How is that? Is it business license?
It's gross receipts. So there's some, I don't know fully. So
Okay.
if I tell you this, take that with a grain of salt, that I could just be making it up.
Where would it
Yeah.
originate from?
From the bank. So the banks, as part of their business license, from my understanding, they pay, or maybe it's not even business license, maybe some of their license, they have to pay a percentage of their gross volume, gross receipts, gross whatever it is that they're doing. But it's kind of a shell game of where they say they take that money in, whether they take it in at this location or whether they take it in at Clayton's location,
Right.
which is always the deal.
The gray area.
Because we only know how much money we've got sitting in the bank down the road. We don't know how much money you got sitting in one of these banks or anybody else. So
Now, will our new banks that are coming to the area have to have business licenses and do banks have business license?
yeah, we would have to have business licenses.
Just thinking like, there's new businesses that are open, Kilwin's open, so they're gonna be business license. Hula Bowls will have a business license. Central Banks will have a business license. I think business license. But there's other income coming in that we don't see yet.
You guys are gonna save us. I
Well,
love it.
What kind of business license are we talking about here?
Remember when you weren't here to start?
Yeah.
TJ's business is based out of Saugatuck, Michigan, so all that.
Oh,
Right, all my, straight to Michigan.
You don't get nothing.
Great. So. It's like we're gonna. Do a negative budget, huh?
Hard for an accountant to do, isn't
It is.
it?
It pains me.
Well, as a new guy, let me ask this. And I'm sure I know the answer, but like, so salaries and the workers' comp and all that, that's just our give to the city for the use of the 12 meetings
It's
and
not-
whatever.
No, that's been
No.
park staff
Park staff.
to go out and
Yeah.
hang the lights, put up your holiday decorations.
So that's really part of the lights.
Yeah, plow the snow or shovel the snow off the sidewalks, smooth
Okay.
snows, that type of stuff.
Where are you in here?
Under professional services.
And that basically totals 35,000. So that's a sun sauce right off the bat.
We got no choice there.
Okay.
The commodities
I mean,
is
you
the,
can lower things if you want. It's up to you guys. I mean, you get less things, but like Crossroads this year, or maybe it's even started last year, didn't do snow. And so, they didn't.
How did that work out?
Yeah, we need that.
They cleaned their own sidewalks, I suppose. They look pretty decent in a short amount of time. I don't know who did it, but
John just got out there and shoveling them.
somebody did.
They
Across roads.
beat up their business owners and tenants to do it themselves. And they stayed on them.
New York City requires their building on.
Chairperson is a-
Once the snow stops,
Chief.
they have to have their walk shoveled within like
You
4
know how to
hours.
get things done.
I was reading, I'm like, what? 2 feet of wet snow?
I mean, but you could reduce the amount of pots you want to put out. You could reduce, I mean, but I know all that leads to more people in the business district looking better and more people coming to want to shop there. So it's definitely a trade-off if you want to do that. But
Well, on the actual side, we'll catch you up and pay that 391 by July. Is that the idea? Then we're halfway.
yeah, most of your a lot of your commodities haven't been spent yet, you know, in the 724 line item, because we haven't bought any plant material for this coming season. Salaries is actually, you know, they clock in and out when they come to each one of the districts. The staff member that's coming in to water those plants for the day or whatever actually clocks in and out. So that's an actual dollar number for those. So yes, your commodities are likely to be the full 11,000. You'll end up spending all of that. And then salaries, I'd say salaries
So how's it come in at like
come in
20,000?
about even or just under typically. A lot of that depends on how much snow falls and how many times they got to get out there and plow.
So the district, we kind of used to have a rule where if it was like 1 to 2 inches of snow, then that was the business owner's responsibility to shovel. And then when we had the 10-inch one, which we did, that's when the city would step in. I think we've not done that anymore.
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like always the city comes through, right after I shovel my
Yeah,
walk.
right after, right after I did.
Yeah. Get done and they come through with the.
Yeah, they didn't even
Cover
do
the
it.
sidewalk all over.
They
They do. You know, Big Ben, they just cover the sidewalk at your shovel.
Yeah, they didn't
Drag
even
it
mess
back
with
out
in front of Parkmore or Madrina because we had it all done already.
Yeah.
They just went around. Like years past, they just come in like do it again and just take all the salt away.
So we reduced the rooftop lighting.
use for top lighting of 12,500. Advertising down by 8.
And that's,
I feel like,
that's just in the budget. We could reduce the top lighting, I think, more, right?
well, that's going from 15,000 down to 2,500.
Right, okay, all right. Oh, I got you. Yeah, okay.
So-
got it, okay, yeah.
So there's not
All right,
not
I
a
see
whole
what
lot
you're-
left in rooftop
No,
lighting.
right, yep, got it. Okay.
Then, I mean, I think we can all agree that having the flowers and maintenance is important for the district.
It is.
It would be. I don't think it would make sense to reduce that
Right.
unless we find other sources to fund it. I think it is important for the district, which then gets us down to the 800s categories. Okay. We need Fran. On the disposal services, that's the
Cardboard dumpster.
cardboard dumpster, the recycling bin.
Yeah, no.
I think gets heavy usage. Does it
Oh,
make
it's
sense?
the best use of our money.
It does, and does it make sense for our district to fund that, or is it the business owners? Building.
I think if you didn't have it, that money would just go in the landfills and. Yeah, not everybody can afford their own cardboard recycling dumpster, you know, that's kind of what this thing is there, so. That dumpster is full every time they dump it. I mean, and sometimes you go to dump it, you can't even put your stuff in there. Some people put it to the side, which they shouldn't do.
Don't break down their box.
Don't break down their boxes.
Drive the
Put it in the
crazy.
dumpster next to it, and then I get a phone call from Dan. We go and fix it.
So then, so we feel that's moving to the next category, land rental. Unless we go back to the city again and ask for more cost sharing, that's not gonna change. Streetlights is the utility cost. Once you shut those off, that's not gonna change. We've already talked about advertising. And once we explicitly removed some of the sponsorships, like for jazz or street dance, I think they're all important events and they're good to have.
And again, last year, we budgeted those, but those did not get spent.
They didn't get spent.
Right. I mean, maybe some of the jazz, but I think Jazz Festival had the sponsorship money. So they just always ask that we leave it in there just in case something falls through on their end, they're covered versus.
Where did we end up last year, Scott, on the business license? What did we end up getting? On that?
You need a second or two. Here, well,
Scott's looking for that, just so I understand. So the advertising for these sponsorships for the events, like Jazz Fest, like I said, they work to get their own sponsorships, but these are like
An extra.
reserved sponsorships in case needed, or they do rely on them or whatever. But this is in addition to their own sponsorships.
Not necessarily. Just
Street dance, we almost solely funded it.
right, through sponsorship. And so it's basically the people we put on the Jazz Fest and stuff, we're not looking for sponsors, and they've been able to get them the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But if they're not able to, you know, and or something falls through, hey, we need that check, and then 6 weeks out, oh, we can't do it now, I'm sorry.
Right.
Then they're, you know, it's too late.
Sure.
So that's kind of what it's for. Okay. So potentially there's $9,000.
For like the bands and the setup and all that
Stage rental.
stage, yeah,
Right. Yeah.
There's 2 streets full of
right.
We have the
music
tents.
and chairs and.
Your 25 actual revenue end of the year was 109,000. The business license portion of that was 59,500.
Thank you.
That is slightly higher because the fact that people knew we're back paying. Not paying so much, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Catching up.
we did have a couple of years.
There's nobody
The
to
numbers
pay.
were.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. 24 actual was only 71,000. 23 actual was only 42,000. So yeah, 42 to 70 to 109.
So
So
do the
you made it.
business, like if they don't get paid, do they get like a notice or something?
Yeah, and technically they can't get a license for the current year until they've paid the back years all. So
And then we asked them to change the rules with your have a liquor license. That you can't get your liquor license without a business license. So I think we saw something and
yeah,
for that.
Scott, do you have numbers of revenue before 23?
I can't.
Because if 109 is a practical revenue item, we're in budget.
What?
If we're
So your
So we-
numbers
we-
during the pandemic are where they're going to be really low. Yeah, you know, I think you need to look back at 2019.
I can only go as far back as 22 and my loaded version of software. I can get those numbers from finance. 22's actual 22 was 56,000. 23 was 42. 24 was 71. 25 was 109. And then as of today, you're at 32,000 on this year.
$32,000 total.
But none of your business licenses are covered.
We're budgeting 87,000. It's a target.
So in 22, business licenses only, in 22, you had almost 50,000. And then in 23, we dropped to 25, then 22, and then bounced back up to 59.5. So I would say that 50,000 range is probably about right for your business licenses historically.
Does the city have like a budget of that number, like a forecast of like how many businesses are in the district and how much they expect to
Yeah, I mean,
get?
that's on the revenue sheet. Yeah, I
Based
mean,
on the sales tax numbers that they have.
so for this year, we've got it budgeted at 40,000, and I think assuming everybody
Close.
paid, I think it'd
Right.
probably be
Yeah.
over 40,000. But it does fluctuate.
Forecast an additional like 55,000 total for the business license income. I would feel okay with that number.
So that would increase our revenue by 15.
Mhm.
That then
If you subtract the advertising and the other.
12, 5, and 8.
so
There's
what about
3 out. More in.
5,000. Or about 105,000 expenses.
It's 28,000 total.
I think business license are income for 55.
Yeah.
This is 102 revenue target. 105 expenses.
And if we get a little bit of sponsorship for either the street dance or jazz festival.
Does it make sense to pull those out of our budget, this expense categories?
No,
I kind of hate to
I
because
don't
I
think
think
that,
they're important events for the district.
yeah, I think that'll cause a lot of trouble. We'll get,
Yeah.
gonna get the bad press. Yes, no offense.
Oh.
I mean,
Scott-
you
Scott,
could
can we
remove
raise-
one of them, or you could remove 2 of them and just have a line item that says event sponsorship. If you've been getting consistent sponsorships for those 2 or 3 events, you know, let's say you've got $10,000 in for those 3 events, you could drop that down to 5,000 and just not specifically call out Jazz Fest, Street Dance, whatever. Just say event sponsorship 5,000, and you could use it for any of those events that did not get sponsorships.
But those, in case of the shortfall, they need to know how much they have budgeted.
I agree. I think they need, it's
need
like
extra
you're
security.
going into it, if you're planning this event and you're like, okay, we got it. We got our money. We're guaranteed, but we were gonna go out and try to find sponsorship. And that's what everybody has done in the past. And I think that just is a good safety net for somebody to not feel like they're pressured and want to do the work versus, okay, we got to pull the plug. I believe just leave it as it is personally.
I agree. Maybe this is the year we actually can talk to them about that. Like I'll be meeting with Patrick Murphy in a few weeks about Jazz Fest. We can go over stuff like that. It's like, how are things going? Can we cut 300 out? You know, anything like that, just to see how they're doing and what they actually need and if they need it all and what we can work with.
Scott, can we raise our revenue budget? Or locked in?
Sure.
Solves all problems.
What is our, long term, we're not getting any more revenue coming. Like, and expenses will continue to rise, so it's.
Welcome to budgeting 101. Yeah. If you can figure that one out, let me know, because
Car wash.
It's gonna look like Times Square around here.
that's very difficult.
Billboards on all the buildings.
Now, I will say, you know, your expenses, you're budgeting for kind of the worst case scenario. If you get no sponsorships, that's how much money. And revenue, we typically budget on the conservative side and anticipate or hope that we're going to exceed that. But I'd rather under promise and over deliver than the other way around and turn upside down at the end of the year.
Now how did this? reserve money, where did that originally come from? Like, at what point was there excess income? Was that
Forever.
pre-2020?
Good.
No, yeah, no, we
Question.
used to have $90,000. Then we dipped into it and we put in all the LED lighting in the whole business district. That was a $30,000 project or something like that.
Where's their LED?
In all of the streetlights that are around. And so the taxing district paid for those to be installed over a 2-year period. And then the agreement was the city would maintain them after that, and that's what's happened. So we've generally just dipped into our funds for the signs, and special little things that have come up, and then it dips down a little bit and then it gets built back up. Just like any successful business.
Joe said a long time ago that when they put the streetscape in, there was an assessment. Is that something that?
So basically what that was they redid all the sidewalks in the whole business district, the whole area, and put in those lights with non-LED lights.
The original street.
Right, exactly. I mean, the LED lights have probably paid for themselves just electricity over the years.
Yeah.
But that was paid for by property owners.
Okay.
So my landlord still complains about it. So that's what that was. That was all property owners that paid on some kind of special tax, something.
They did a tax assessment.
Yeah, taxes.
All right. Tell you what, to move this along,
I think we need to pause it for now.
well, we gotta,
Estimate it.
Scott has to submit a budget. I mean, I guess it can be modified later,
That's gotta approve.
but I feel like what we got in here, a whole lot of levers to mess with here. I feel like we leave revenue budgeted as it is.
Well, with the things that we said we were going to reduce.
Yeah, so the changes in play are gonna be reducing the contract area maintenance from 15,000 down to 2,500. We're gonna reduce the overall advertising budget from 25,000 to 24,200.
It's actually 24,100.
It's 24.
Because that's a pretty big, $100 out. Assuming that-
Should we reduce the commodities business district, like the potted plants? Should we take that number down? I mean,
I don't know how.
it's like,
Oh, yeah. So that's
It's 11,000.
it's 11,000, like,
So far, we've spent 500.
Yes,
Well,
but you
the
gotta
reason why
remember
we've spent
Right.
500, we haven't had any potted plants yet.
Yeah.
So we pay for that this spring and then it goes all the way through next year. So our budget, when our budget gets set, the reason why nothing's been spent is because,
spends in April. May.
right, exactly. And that'll all go away.
And it's not just potted plants, it's most of it, but it's also salt for the sidewalks. It's anything that's spent, any hard good that's spent, paint for making all the holiday decorations when they make whatever cute thing they're making this year, the paints that they gotta buy for that kind of stuff. All that goes into that $11,000.
So anything salt related and paint would have already been spent. Should be.
Yeah, you probably had enough salt. We buy them by the pallet load.
Yeah.
And so they probably didn't buy one this year, but then next year you're gonna need one. Something like that.
Who do we buy the flour from, the potted stuff next time?
There's usually 2 or 3 companies that they get them from. A couple out of Florida. That is the cheapest spot. Some of them come from.
We're definitely down to the.
There's a wholesaler right over on Manchester Road, right on the edge of Kirkwood.
Good
I can't remember the name of it.
Again, does anyone
Yeah.
talk to Lynn? Do we wanna,
We
give them
have,
the option of,
we have several times.
and show them all lower the cost?
I mean, they're a retail company,
Yeah,
so
I
that
get it.
they
I mean-
they can't normally match the wholesalers.
Yep.
Because they're typically buying from the wholesalers, so. I think we do get a couple things from them. If we need to go buy like one extra tree or something
Sure.
like that, we go grab it from them, but yeah. Just when we're ordering a whole semi truckload of stuff. Go throughout the whole city, then
My vote would be not to reduce it's been reduced just because of the cost of living, the cost of everything in this world. I mean, we used to have big, huge pilot plants that really jumped out, and we've been reducing them. But now we have them on light poles, and I don't think they look bad, but I don't think they. Yeah, it's not giant, huge, great displays. We still have a couple big pots, here and there. Bank of America, I think, over there, and a couple around that are still good and everything. But I think we need to keep our business district looking fresh, happy, things that business owners can do is, if you see a piece of trash on the sidewalk, you can bend over, pick it up, put a trash can, which we have plenty of. We also get charged for picking up trash. And I'm not trying to say everybody should be a garbage man, but everybody picks up one piece of trash once a week. That'll be it. And we don't have a lot of trash in our district.
It shows well. So Scott will reduce the advertising budget by $800.
Yep.
And we're going to reduce contract area maintenance by $12,500.
yes.
And we'll leave everything else as is.
The 600s are probably gonna go up again like 3%. Won't know that until we do the budget, because that whatever that employee gets is gonna get what the rest of the city folks get.
So we'll live with that
Yeah.
adjustment.
It's likely gonna be 3%.
Okay.
If I had to hazard a guess. So with those, I can make those 3 changes for you.
Did you stay on the revenue side? I mean, my point would be,
Yeah.
want to just increase the revenue according to the 109 we got, and I assume whatever the difference is, we're gonna have to dip into the.
We're gonna have to.
So what's, if we balance the budget now versus leaving it done.
Well, if we balance now by raising the revenue target and
No shortfall it.
we're shortfall then.
Yeah.
The license fees have been so erratic the last several years that I think it's hard to budget a higher number.
It's not the end of the world. We show a negative budget, and then we come back and we find funding for Jazz Fest, find funding, those things are definitely possible. So I don't think we're as bad as we look, maybe when you first.
My guess is it evens out pretty good. I mean, the way it
Right.
has every year.
It does, we get some surprises. It may be a scenario where licenses do still come into press. We'll have to have a more serious discussion about some additional support.
Or from that vein, one, do we have a list of every member, like a contact list for everybody in the district that hit up? Okay, looking for sponsorships, we're looking for people to.
Yellow pages?
I think it's the white pages now.
Blue dot?
Some,
Blue dot. Blue dot.
And then the only other thing I think that would be helpful when this is, if we had like a trending, like a 5-year.
I can do it.
Historical, I mean, it doesn't have to be detailed, but just,
the revenue business license has been super erratic.
yeah, but at least you got something you can.
It makes 0 sense then.
Yeah,
Like
it makes
goes
sense.
30, 40, 109, 50.
Law of averages, though, usually you start to apply somewhere, hey.
Didn't used to be as erratic before the pandemic. Just since the pandemic, it's just numbers like, all of our business licenses, half of what they were last year, and the amount of vacancy in additional.
Right.
That's just like, that's not possible.
Who would pay that? Like, who would be, that would stress me out not to pay a business license,
Evidently didn't stress out some people.
Yeah.
Now, I recommend we leave the revenue target as is. If we do end the year at that depressed figure. Just have to have more real conversations.
Motion to vote.
Yeah, motions.
So make a motion to approve
Thank
the
you.
budget as was amended.
Second,
I'll second.
thank you, Randy. All approved? Any opposed? None? Okay, thank you. Motion passes. Appreciate it. The last item on old business is the fiscal 26 commission year-end report. I did not reprint those, but I shared those last month. Commission year-end report. Let's see. Frank, do you by any chance have that Word document? Pull off of this on the screen or?
I don't have that with me. But if you,
Frank has one
if
copy.
you look
I have
at,
one copy.
if you look at the minutes from last month, they're included.
Is it in there? So if y'all have minutes with you, mind if you printed those?
It still had a section that you had to finish.
I do. Okay, let me see. It's my section. Showing there what section? On the computer.
Maybe it was the
27 plan.
27
Yeah.
plan, what the future plan is.
26 looks.
One of the sections still had the verbiage of the original that just tells you what that section is supposed to have.
Okay.
I think on our accomplishments, we should also put about our street signage that we've.
We've got that.
Right. I mean,
So, I'll include street signage info and 26 accomplishments.
highlighting.
So, and I'll just rate those accomplishments, what I had written so far. The 2026 accomplishments was fiscal 26, continued a record of successful years of events supported by the district, including Webster Street Dance, Webster Jazz Fest, continued beautification of the district, and helping to make our district a destination location for our region. I will, and then moving on, we have fiscal 26 ongoing long-term projects, which is continuing, and that is ongoing long-term projects include the following: rooftop lighting for commercial buildings, employee parking options, and number 3 was the district is committed to the long-term view of the infrastructure of the district and support of streetscape and beautification replacement and updates. Will include with the 26 accomplishments information on street signage, updating street signage.
If you have samples of those, that'd be great when you make a report.
To include, yeah.
Pictures.
Yeah.
Well, did you pick, when are you presenting?
Undecided yet.
I just have to submit it.
We'll
I
get
think
you,
by the end of this month.
we'll get you some, didn't you? Yeah.
If you can send me something,
So you
I'll
know-
include it. Yeah, that'd be helpful, I think, for the board.
At every work session, I'm supposed to make a report on our commission. I did make a report about these things on here, but nothing's changed, so I didn't put anything new, so.
Any other comments or things to add? For the council. And for 27 or 27 work plan, it's the same as what we've done the last several years. Let's see, did I have? Oh, so the area that I left open was our fiscal 27 budget requests. So the language that we're being asked to fill in says briefly describe the funding request of the board or commission for fiscal 27. It should align with all goals and or objectives listed in the work plan. Last year, we asked for support, additional support on parking. We asked for extra funding for the lighting as well as extra funding for the signage. We were respectfully, politely declined on all of those, but we did discuss, we did dip into our reserves, it's budgeted, dip into those reserves. I don't believe we've discussed anything for this coming year that would require a specific ask from the city.
The only ask I think that we could ask would be if moving forward that we would need the city to look at the parking that we're leasing. Like, it's not a request now, but put it on record that this will lead to the parking expense of $18,000 that we're spending will lead to the future cutbacks. The possibility of future cutbacks in the district, whether it's beautification and or events and sponsorship. So that could cause long-term suffering of retail and restaurants, you know, traffic. It's a bigger problem that if we can't do our job because we're paying for parking, then that's could be a long-term consequences.
Yeah, I appreciate that. A question for Emerson, because we're not talking about a specific ask. Does it make sense to set the stage
For future ask.
for future asks?
Yes, I would. So you'll know what's on your agenda, what you're looking at. And for me, my general budget ask for it, all they can do is turn it down. Even the ones that you ask for, like I said.
But I figure in the long term, if the city can pick up an $18,000 parking bill, the amount of tax revenue that's generated by the events that the district puts on, or if we can redirect that funds to even more events, that it will offset that $18,000 on the grand scheme and the bigger picture of the city, and just that we pay for employee parking.
Should we, would it make sense as a commission here, would it make sense to just make that ask now to the city of, we ask that the city.
We can.
Pick up the cost of the parking?
I think we can.
Well, let's say, remember, there's $1.5 million coming for a parking garage, or students that the city is probably gonna
So
cover.
we're just gonna take 18,000.
Wait,
Yeah.
our 18,000 parking is a deal then.
Yeah.
How many spaces are we getting?
I just didn't.
Where else is people gonna park when the $1 million construction's going? It's like in our $18,000 lot.
So last year, you guys, I gave you a presentation
Respond.
and Mayor Arnold, she specifically, her question was, why should we dip into our reserve when we're already hurting? Of course, we know now, but when you guys already have reserves, you know, and that was her exact question. I think that if our reserves were closer to zero, there would be, but that's exactly what she asked,
Right.
You know, and she's also a friend.
We're
so
not budgeting this year, but like as a business owner and as an accountant, we see the future a little bit. We have to forecast that we're gonna run out of reserves and that this will cause a problem because we have no other source of income unless there's a taxation district CID or TDD. Like those are the only ways to get more income.
Mhm.
That's
I would recommend you, go to the comprehensive plan to see where that fit in the comprehensive plan. And like I said, I can't say for sure, but you know, you're talking about a one-time cost. Is that correct?
no, this is
Well, it would be a-
Annual cost.
right.
Annual
This-
leases.
we don't,
Oh,
their leases on parking lots unless the city could negotiate a purchase, but I don't think that either one of them want to give up those lots.
Yeah, we don't have any project costs in the budget. Project costs, it's just an ongoing operations.
Yeah.
I say ask.
Yeah, well, we could also ask for just more partial. I mean, the city already pays for, it's half of the Moody bond.
Percentage?
Yeah.
50 a Moody and 80 for the congregation.
Right.
Right.
I'm sorry, that's what you guys.
We
the city
paid
did.
50 for Moody and 80 for, so if we could get,
I propose we just ask the city to take over all.
And if they have to meter it, put the meters in.
What do you guys think about that? Because I've actually been looking into app-based parking meters.
Wait 2 years to bring
That's
that up.
working in. Like the $400.
No,
per
yeah,
employee.
No, this is behind,
Yeah.
bike shop.
Okay, yeah.
And then the
Just,
next,
I
and then,
just wanted to clarify.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I worked in Clayton, had restaurants in Clayton for a long time, and paid for parking every day, like as an employee. Or if we can
As a
direct
customer.
as a customer.
Propose we ask the
There
city to
used
table
to be
release.
parking meters in Oakland.
That would close the
Yeah.
gap. That would close our budget gap.
Oh, yeah, I'm all for it.
Anyone opposed?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I propose that we ask the city to take over on this parking leases.
I think we do need to look at the comprehensive plan and see how that, I think that's what they're gonna be looking for. How is this fitting with comprehensive?
In the next couple of days, if anyone wants to dig into that comprehensive plan, share their thoughts, I'd appreciate it. So I can word it appropriately.
Then is somebody committing to that? Then I can
I
write.
mean,
I can't come to it.
you need to be committed anyway.
Is this a formal motion?
No, I just wanna, I was
Oh, for the ask.
for the, no, for the ask, you're asking if you could put it on the
27.
27 plan.
Yes.
And then you ask for individuals to look into the comp plan to match that up so that you can include it on the 27th plan, which he has to turn in by the 28th. So because of the short time frame, I didn't want to miss, because I'm gonna put it in the minutes, who is offered to help you do that.
I mean, I'll do it after this.
Gotcha. Okay, sorry. If I don't do it now, when I write these up later, I'm like, okay, what did we say?
But we can vote, we have to vote on the ask
No,
and then, but we don't have to. All right.
unless you want to. You absolutely, if you want to make sure that it's understood, because it'll be reflected in the minutes, it's a good idea.
I'll entertain a motion vote.
Second.
Or second. All approve? Aye. Anyone opposed?
Comment. Consider Scott's idea about the meters because that's a revenue generator. So that's what obviously city council is going to be looking at. What's going to help offset this expense?
So the parking lots only, right?
I'm just researching how the apps work right now and what the cost share is, because how much we have to pay whichever app company we might go with.
I would rather shoppers not pay for meters, because it would make them not want to shop or stop, but that's just me.
I agree.
It'd be hard to pay to run into a store to pick up, because I know there's a lot of running into here to get food or running into that, so that would be a little bit at play.
And then what's the expense for being the parking lot?
I think in the past when
There's no enforcement, it's zero.
Okay. Well, then let's bring the.
When there's zero enforcement, we all know that people know that and then they don't.
then all your employees park right in front of your store.
Right.
And
Right,
there's no room.
there isn't, because people park forever in front of our shop, and it's only 2 hours.
Right.
So it's like the person there for 8 hours. Yeah.
I mean, these lots, they're private lots that we're leasing. Spending rent per month, so I don't even know if you'd be able to meter them.
Well, if you put the box at the end and, or you just have the signage and it's like Park Mobile, where you put in your space number. It's virtual pay box.
So for the parking garage and street parking and things like that, you certainly could. You're right.
I mean, like I
The
think
church's parking lot would be harder to do that on.
like the
Even
deck
Park
of,
Mobile.
yeah, the deck of the municipal lot is all mostly employees of businesses without permits and they just are there all day. Really love to just a drone or something that just watches. There's all these cars. Where are all these people?
Okay.
Follow the people.
Anything else on the budget or fiscal 27 plan? Thank you. Moving on. New business. None. BDC update, if he's not here. Did anyone participate in the BDC meeting? No? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on.
The next
But first,
business coffee
Yeah.
that the BDC is planning is in April. And they have asked the executive director of the St. Louis Municipal League. I think they changed their name several times. I'm not up to date. I think it's St. Louis Region because it's city and county. To give a talk on what the potential impact to businesses would be if the state successfully gets rid of the state income tax and pays for that through new sales taxes on services, for example. That's the plan. And Pat has accepted, so it appears to be a go.
and that's, and where would that be? Is that
That's at the rec center,
April, what date?
April 16th.
16th.
It's a topic I would encourage everyone to go to. That'd be very impactful. Thank you, Frank. Moving on, Emerson, tell us what's going on in the city.
Oh, boy. One quick question. When's the last time the business licensing fee has been increased?
It's been 2 years.
That's been increased, the rates.
It went up 2 years ago. I don't remember.
$1, $5, $10.
No, it's based on.
It's based on sales.
Sales.
Are we subject to like that Hancock limitations?
No.
What determines the sales tax rate? I'm sorry, the business license rate.
Council.
It's a revenue stream you can look at.
Right. Interesting thought. There you go.
The other thing about city council, we deep in budget, we're going to start our small meetings. I was shopping, so we start small meetings with 2-3 council members, and we kind of go through the budget pretty much like you're doing. And that's going to be our focus. Scott mentioned the placement of the garage. I believe that's going to happen. Got to happen with all of the wear and tear on it. We just approved $150,000 for the code. A third party look at our code, in line with everybody else, I guess. So it was cheaper than hiring a person to do it on site. It was about 5 years. A 5 year time.
We did it in-house, yeah.
Yeah, we did it in-house, and somebody else do it outside the city is like a year and a half. So that's going to be a plus. We've been looking to do that for 5, 6, 7 years, as long as I've been on the council. Let's see. Budget. That's all I got.
Okay.
Anybody got
Any questions for Emerson? No questions.
I like that.
Any updates from?
Have they got anything for me?
Yes, I have a question. Would you like to introduce the young man sitting next to you?
It's a new officer started last week, Kevin Copeland. So we have another one starting next week as well.
Excellent.
Nice.
I'm sorry, what's Kevin's last name?
Copeland,
Copeland.
COPELAND.
Welcome.
All right, our next meeting is scheduled for March 24th, 8 a.m. here. you haven't been getting the updates from Fran, please make sure those. With that, meeting is adjourned.